Now, you can tell by the way I gave that intro that I absolutely care about the person that's here because we're really good friends. We've been friends here for a long time. She's the founder of the Gibson Lupus ARC, and the title of her speech or her presentation today is "I'm Still Here, Now What?" So, Miss Zuriel, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So tell us a little bit about your story. Your title is very intriguing, right? So you're like, I'm still here now. What? I don't know if like somebody beat you up and now you're like getting revenge, or you trying to find your purpose because you were supposed to be taken out long time ago, and you're like, now what do I do to help humanity? Just explain that to us, please.
Well, you got the second part right.
Mm,
Not like quite beat up, but the other part. I've been through some things.
okay.
So, yes. Well, actually, just a little bit, a tidbit about my story. My story comes from a tragic background of lupus. I was
Mm.
diagnosed in 97. I got diagnosed because I literally almost died. My body was literally shutting down on me until my mother made them test me for lupus. They didn't want to at first, but because the type of mother I had, they tested me and I came back positive. They gave me all the right medication and I came back. Now, moving on forward, a few years after that, they told me I would die at 24,
Mm.
and I'm no longer 24.
I can tell by the
I-
great streaks. I can tell by the great streaks.
yes, this was
Yes,
earned. This was earned,
absolutely,
truly.
absolutely. Mine was earned as well. I This is my wisdom side. This is my foolish side. So all of my bunk, corny jokes come from this side. This is the
Oh,
Confucius
okay.
side. Absolutely, absolutely.
So since I made it past 24, of course it goes, okay, now what do I do? I made it. Now what happens? And I've been living life in that aspect of now what happens? What is my purpose? Do I still have a reason for being here?
So let's educate people on lupus, what it is, and how it affects your body if you have it.
Lupus can affect your body in several different ways. There's four different kinds of lupus. You have the lupus that attacks all of your organs, all your healthy tissue. Let me go a little bit back and go to the definition. Lupus is an autoimmune disorder where your immune system looks at your body as a foreign object. So instead of attacking all the foreign things like the flu and things like that that come into your body, it attacks all your healthy tissues within inside. Now
Mm.
that's the systemic lupus. That's the major one. Then we have lupus of the skin. There's also drug-induced lupus, and then there's lupus from babies that get it from their mothers pass it on to their children. So that's a little history behind of what lupus is.
Got you, got you. Okay. So you made it past 24. They
I
didn't think you
did.
were gonna make it. You had lupus. Thank God that your mom took that extra step and initiative to make sure that you were tested for that whole situation. So why did you start the foundation and what do you guys do?
So the original thought for the foundation, I was coming out what seemed like the end of my journey of all the stuff I was really dealing with from the very beginning, because I literally was like a revolving door in and out of the hospital so much. My sister made a joke that everybody had a spare bed just waiting for me. It's funny
Mm,
now, haha, but it wasn't
right.
funny then as I was in and out of the hospital. So as I was coming out of that fog of not being in the hospital as much, learning how to take care of my body and things like that, I was like, there's a reason I'm still here. Why am I still here? And God gives the strong very big assignments. And so
Yes.
I made it this far. By the grace of God, I made it this far. And He told me that I would share my story with others. So there we go, the Gibson Lupus ARC, being able to keep people networking with those who can help them to get better within their body and help understand, because with disease, any sickness, but especially lupus with brain fog and different things, depression comes to be a part of that. So learning how to show people how to get past their depression and ask for help and not commit suicide, knowing there's somebody around the corner. Because even though people know the name lupus, knowing exactly what it is and what people go through is a lot more difficult because everyone is different. And so therefore
Right.
people feel alone and they're in their corner, and you hear a lot of people committing suicide because they can't take the pain, they can't take the loneliness, they can't get out of this deep dark hole. So that knowing this organization here was connecting them to different people and organizations to help them get past what they're getting, what they need to get past, including myself, where I'm able to speak. I'm a life coach and, of course, an advocate, where I speak to different people and help them, navigate through what it is they're going through. Now, I'm not a therapist, so if it needs to go that far, I do refer them within the resources to go where they need to go so they can speak to who they need to speak to. But I do cover the first lines as far as a life coach goes. So one of the things we do offer, which a new program, lo and behold, a new program that's coming out here is a program that's going to be able to show people how to work, which caught another one thing. You get scared, you have all this money that's going out, but nothing coming in. We'll show them how to work, even if they need to work from their hospital bed, by becoming an advocate and life coach and teaching them and getting them licensed and helping walk them through the process. So
Okay.
that's a new program that's coming up, as well as continuing to making sure that they're reaching out to the different lupus organizations, lupus and autoimmune, excuse me, I'm tongue tied, lupus and autoimmune organizations, so that they will be able to reach who they need to reach right next to them if need be. Because sometimes all you need is a hug. Even in this day of age of COVID-19, sometimes all you need is a hug just to help you lift your spirits up to get past what you're getting past. And because I'm here and I'm only one person, there's a whole world of people that are willing to hug somebody and love on them to let them know that they're not alone. So I took it upon myself, because I went through what I went through and felt so alone in the process, to make sure others don't feel alone.
Absolutely. So you were in a situation, like you said, they didn't think you were going to make it past 24. What were
Right.
some of the symptoms? And I'm thinking your symptoms had to be very drastic for them to believe that you wasn't going to make it. So what are some of the symptoms, or the range of symptoms for lupus? Because people do get depressed. People feel like maybe some of it is just regular aging. They don't know, what they're doing, if it's just eating, if it's something in the air that's giving them the feelings that they have to say, I'm not really feeling well. And if their doctor did exactly what your doctor did, now they have no options. They have no idea what's going on. So can you help some of those people kind of recognize some of the beginning stages or some of those symptoms?
Fatigue is a big one.
Mm,
You can get 8 hours worth of sleep, wake up and be extremely tired. And, someone who's used to being on the go, oh, I'm just being lazy, I just need to push myself, or maybe it's something I ate last night. Don't overlook the fact when your body says, I need to rest.
right.
So you need to pay attention to the little things that we overlook, and muscle pain. We feel like, oh, I must have walked too much, or, my kid jumped on me the wrong way, or something like that. Pay attention to the small things. I can't say that enough. A low grade fever, loss of the hair. A lot of women be like, oh, I'm just going through the change. It's menopause. Sometimes it's not. You may not
Mm,
be at that age. It's not common to have menopause at a younger age, but those who have lupus can show some of those symptoms at a younger age. And it just might not be menopause, it's your lupus doing some different functions within itself. Because when your organs start to shut down or do something different, you have to be aware of your body. You have to understand something feels different and why it feels different. And just because you feel a pain up here in your shoulder doesn't mean that there's not something wrong with your leg, because your entire body is connected. So when you pay attention to where you have a pain, make sure you understand where that pain is coming from, because it might be coming from somewhere else within your body. It's just showing itself right there. So for some people, they turn colors. The different rashes that you get, that's why they call it a
mm,
butterfly. It's called the butterfly rash.
right.
That's discoid lupus. And I started off with that, and unfortunately, I was in the valley where we lived around a lot of fair skinned people, So me being the color that I am, no one truly understood what I was going through. They called it just, oh, you got acne issues. It
Right.
wasn't acne issues. I was
Right.
literally having an entire butterfly rash that eventually went into something else. Even though my
Mm.
butterfly rash went away, it went into systemic lupus and it started to attack all of my organs. So things you really need to look for is it, because it shows up in everyone differently, and lupus is very tricky because it shows up as a different, it can show up as a different disease, and a doctor will title you as a popular disease instead of what it is at the root, and you can get misdiagnosed. So always make sure, one thing you need to ask for is an A&A test to be very sure. It'll show you it'll show you the biomarkers. It will show you the biomarkers that are within your body that'll show up for lupus. So with that, I'm sorry. With that, you'll be able to understand where your symptoms are actually coming from. And don't let anyone tell you that you're just being paranoid. Your insurance pays
Right.
for it or you pay for it. Get it done. At least you know. It's better to know than not know.
Right.
And one thing I was taught, or even when I was reading in my word, was that, when you find the root core of something, that's the only way you can fix it. Don't put a band-aid on something and not fix the real issue, because after you take the band-aid off, you're wondering, why am I not healthy or not fixed?
Right.
So you do have to look the small things, the chest pains, your breathing might change, the hair loss, the low grade fevers that you get that a lot of us don't pay attention to because it's not over 100 or whatever. Pay
Mhm.
attention to when you get those and how you get those, and pay attention to your rest, how you rest, because fatigue is a very big one.
So let me ask you this: the resources that you guys provide, what type of resources are those that can help someone with lupus get through this whole situation that they have?
Nutrition is a big one. It's something that a lot of doctors are starting to say these days. If you change up your nutrition, I'm not saying it's a end all cure for anything, but it will help you to live a better lifestyle as far as pain and clarity and things just moving through your system. I one Another resource that we do offer is the resources we do offer through these different organizations, because different organizations doing different things. As far as, if you can't get up and clean your house, you're sick. What if you're single? Who helps you eat? There's organizations out there that actually will be like, I will come to your home, I will cook you a week's worth of food, of course according to whatever diet you have, and help clean your home to just check on you. If you're single, you need things like that. you know it,
Even
different type of
if you're a parent and you're supposed to take care of your kids, you definitely need that.
Exactly. And the kids do as much as they can. God bless them. They do as much as they can. But at the end of the day, we just need that. We need that help. We definitely need that help. And of course, we offer the resources of, speaking to counselors or speaking to a life coach to help guide you through some things, just to get things out of your mind. Sometimes someone needs someone to just sit there and listen,
Right.
and we're not the type of people to allow you to sit there and just vent so much that we don't give you an avenue out, because venting, it takes 5 good affirmations to get rid of one negative thought.
Mm.
And that, all these negative things that are happening to you in your life, if we allow you to come in and let that overtake you without giving you something positive or a few things positive to go home with and repeat to yourself, we're not doing any justice.
Mm.
We have to make sure that the door is open for you to move on to the next thought. You never thought about it like that, right? If you look
Right.
back on your childhood, a lot of people remember more of the negative stuff than they do the positive.
Right.
And then you have to really sit down and think. It was like, wait a minute, this actually did happen. That was good. This actually did. But what overpowers is the negative thought process. So giving them a place to vent, because you have to know your emotions. And in order to know your emotions, you have to let them play out the way they need to play out without any shame. Weren't
Mm.
worrying about people gossiping or anything. You're not shamed. You're human. You're normal. So allowing them to play out, but also knowing that you need positive reinforcement after you get all of that out.
So it's easier to help heal or help get over that hump and obstacle when you have true life resources that can help you with everyday things. And I love that about
Exactly.
what you do. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, you and I have something in common as well, though. Not just
Really?
that your skin glows and my skin glows. Like it's not just the glow, right? It's not just the
Of
glow.
course.
But one of the reasons your skin glows is because of a product that you've told me that has helped you through your flare-ups and things, and it makes things a lot better for you. And that is what everybody else is talking about, which is this HGH gel. So if you could tell us what it does for you, and what you've seen it do for other people with autoimmune disorders, that'd be great.
Well, one of the things that it's done for me, which is a major thing, is it helps with my inflammation.
Mm,
I have lower back problems, and from time to time, it flares up to where it's just really painful. And when I put the HGH on it and I do a regimen, it helps the pain subside, and I'm able to move around a little bit better. So
mhm.
I mean, I recommend it to anybody who has that kind of inflammation going on in their body to put it on and go through a regimen to put it on where it needs to go, even though, like I said before, where your pain is, it's coming from somewhere else. It doesn't matter. It still helps go through the body to find where the issue is to help that inflammation. And it's been amazing.
Mm. Now you talked about some of the flare-ups. I remember one day you was in the hospital and you said I didn't even have to stay as long as usual because you was on the gel. Because like I said, we're friends, so we can go ahead and talk. Because if I see you in the hospital or something, I'm not just the dude to send a heart. I'm the dude to call you and say, "Hey, what's the
Every
deal?"
time.
Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
every time.
Absolutely. That's how we take care of Justice League. But, talk about, from a flare up standpoint and those aches and pains and what that looks like.
In my flare-ups, I do have a lot of aches and pains, and that particular time that you're referring to,
Hmm.
I had aches and pains, and I normally take a certain dose of pain medication to even get through, but I didn't have to take as much,
Mm,
and that was very promising, which looks great for the doctors, of course. So,
right.
I didn't have to stay as long because they were able to what pain mask where the real issue is. So because I was not in as much pain, I was able to communicate some other
Hmm.
things of where things needed to be looked at and how they needed to be looked at, other than I'm in pain and you need to fix it. So,
Right. Right.
because that would usually be my story. Look, I'm here, you the doctor, fix it, and so I can go home, pretty much.
Right.
But
Right.
with after using the gel, I didn't have as much pain, and I was able to communicate of, hey, this is the pain that I had before, this is what's going on here, and this is what's going on there. I was able to communicate it more effectively. That's the word I'm looking for, more effectively.
Okay.
So I didn't have to stay as long, and I didn't have as much pain, which is great because when I came home, I did my little recovery thing, but I wasn't down as long, which was awesome.
Now, how does it help with your energy and your sleep? Because usually that's the first thing that people realize is that they're getting much more REM sleep, that well rested sleep that really rebuilds and recoups your body. How does that help when you talk about fatigue from that standpoint?
Um, when I talk about it, fatigue, it did help me with my sleep. I still had some troubling nights, but at the same time, they weren't as frequent.
Mm,
They calmed down a whole lot to where I was able to get some rest during a night instead of flipping through my phone or working on something and up to like 3 o'clock in the morning because I can't sleep at all. Now, keeping in mind when you get your body corrected as you get
mhm.
older, to wherever your body's trying to go, you do get a lot more energy. But this helped me so that I can continue my energy and not show repercussions of, oh, I got all this energy over here this one day, I'm about to pay for it tomorrow.
Right.
So I didn't have the back and forth, which was great. So
All right.
I was able to get my sleep, and then when I woke up, I felt rested. So it was good because I was able to start my day off. Now, true enough, I'm at that age that naps are well for me. I'm good with my naps.
Right, right, right,
I
right,
have no problem.
right,
So I still took my naps during the middle of the day, but I was able to get up after my nap and keep it going and not feel like I was so sluggish that everything just kind of fell on me.
right. So would you suggest the HGH gel for anybody? Lupus or regular people
I
or
would. Anybody who has a lupus or autoimmune disorder, a lot of that stems from a lot of inflammation within your system.
hmm
Um, just depending on how you go in which direction of depending on your disease. Like I said, everybody's body is different, but I would recommend it because it really helps with the inflammation to help you focus on what's really going on, so you find your root and fix it and be happy.
all right. How can people
Mhm.
contact you or get some of the resources that you're talking about?
The website is www.gibson, Gib as in boy, Son, lupus, LUPUSRC.net. Or you can call me at 832-856-0341. And we are on Facebook, all kinds of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, um, LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. Hey, again, I want to thank you for being here. You guys, we got somebody else coming up next, and this guy is going to blow your socks off. See you in a minute.